but there's a particular moment I want to discuss. I mean, you were part of the WCW last years or last months, but you made your debut in a pretty particular way with Jamie San, actually known as Jamie Noble, and Kaz Hayashi. You were brought by Jimmy Hart, the Mouse of the South, to be part of the company. And you made your TV debut in a pay-per-view. How do you feel? You know, it can't be, you can't get any higher than debuting in a pay-per-view. So how was that moment for you?
So, and that's everything with me, you know, happened so fast. Like, I'm the youngest wrestler ever to sign to WCW. I signed my first contract in June of 1999. I turned 18 in May.
Yeah. 18 in 1 month.
Yeah. And personally, you know, I was such a big fan of wrestling. I got signed. Few months later, they fly me to actually WCW Saturday night. It wasn't a pay-per-view, but it was a Saturday night taping. At 18, personally, I didn't know how to travel. I didn't know how to check in at the airport. I didn't know how to check in a hotel, anything like that. And then I go into the taping in Amherst, Massachusetts, and I see all these wrestlers. El Dandy, Beyond 4 and 5. I'm like, oh, look, El Dandy, Beyond 4 or 5, Chavo and all the Armstrongs, everything. I'm such a mark, and being a fan, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then they put me in the match with the Demon, Del Torborg, and I'm just like, what is going on? You know, so it was so nerve-wracking, so crazy, exciting. There's just so much emotion going into doing a national TV match, you know, and it was just unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable, awesome, crazy, like being so young, you know, it was an awesome moment. You know, so.
I'll translate this. Jimmy cuenta que él es el luchador más joven en firmar con WCW. Firma a los 18 años con un mes. Él cumplió 18 en mayo, en May, y en junio ya lo firmaron. Entonces, de momento no sabía ni cómo viajar, no sabía cómo hacer las cosas, no sabía cómo hacer un check-in en el aeropuerto. Y ok, ya lo logró, lo resolvimos, llegamos. El Dandy. Villanos 4 y 5. Todos mis héroes estaban a mi alrededor y estoy evitando estallar de emoción por dentro, y de momento me ponen una lucha televisada en WCW contra dos personas que admiro de igual forma, y es como, anda, para el carajo, esto se prendió esta cosa, como diríamos acá en Puerto Rico. Pero Jimmy tuvo la oportunidad de crear ese impacto, de ser el luchador más joven, y para un muchachito en aquella época, tener la oportunidad de crecer de esa manera simplemente fue increíble. You were with WCW until, unfortunately, WWF purchased the company. Who gave you the notice that, you know, the company was being sold to the enemy?
So we all, there was always the last 2 weeks was rumors. Who bought it? Eric Bischoff, whoever, WWE, but I didn't think WWE was going to buy WCW. So the last WCW Nitro was in Panama City. I'm 19 years old on spring break. So my friends came down there, and they were there for the week before the show. And I was a 19-year-old professional wrestler during Panama City spring break. Yeah, so I had a good time. And then finally we go to the show, and all of a sudden I walk in, and all the WWE stuff's right there. I was like, God. Oh, what happened? You know, WWE bought WCW. Then they said, okay, we have a talent meeting. So we all went in the room, all the talent, and all of a sudden Shane McMahon walks in, and Bruce Pritchard and Briscoe. And it was like, you know, it was like a kind of so real moment, like, oh man, we just got bought from WWE, Shane McMahon. And it was just such a shock what was going on, you know, but spring break partying with my boys, go to work and see all of a sudden WWE bought WCW. Shane walks in. But that night I turned into a huge fan. I'm always a big fan, but like I was watching the show and that's when they did the simulcast, Vince and Shane, and I'm watching from the crowd. You know, I'd sneak out in the crowd and watch it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest storyline in the world. Vince McMahon versus Shane, WWE versus WCW. And I found out that day they took my contract. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to be part of this. You know, this is like awesome, you know. But then after the show, it got real sad afterwards because I'm being so young, not understanding what's going on. But a lot of people lost their jobs that night. So after the show's over, walking back and there's people, you know, crying and hugging. And it's like, oh crap. They just basically killed a company and like hundreds of people's livelihoods and families and bills. And it was kind of like, it was a crazy week, just say. It was a crazy week in my life.
I'll translate this. Le pregunto a Jimmy por el momento en que WCW fue comprada por WWE, si se esperaba, si no, cómo él se enteró de la noticia. Bueno, Panama City, él tenía 19 años, Spring Break, él estaba con sus muchachos, with his boys, vamos a party, vámonos de fiesta, vamos a pasarla bien. Habían rumores de quién la compró, Eric Bischoff, quién rayos compró la empresa, y de momento, vamos para el show, después de party, después de la fiesta y toda la cosa de Spring Break en Panama City, pasándola bien, me siento por allí, WWF en todos los billboards. ¿Qué caramba acaba de pasar aquí? Oh shit, WWF compró WCW y de momento entra el camerino Shane McMahon, Bruce Prichard y Gerald Briscoe y es como que anda pa'l carajo, esto se acaba de volver real. Sale Shane afuera, hace el anuncio, él lo ve desde el público y fue como Vince contra Shane, esta es la mejor storyline de todos los tiempos y yo voy a ser parte de esto. Compraron su contrato, luego entendió la gravedad de la situación, de que muchas personas se quedaron sin trabajo, todos llorando y abrazándose, personas que perdieron sus trabajos, que no podían pagar sus biles y la cosa se volvió, vamos a decirlo de esa manera, real.